Hello. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a presentation in ProPresenter so it can be shown on all the screens at City Light Church. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do, let's just open up ProPresenter. Here it is. Beautiful. Within here you can see that we have nothing, and that's a problem if we're going to show your presentation. So we have a couple options. We can either start it here, or you can come over to this button over here and click New Presentation. But for this example, to start off, we're going to say that you're making your presentation in PowerPoint or Keynote, something like that. So let's go over to that. I made one in Keynote. Let's just do open recent. There it is, my favorite presentation. One of the things we want to make sure is that in our document, so in document here, everything is in widescreen. That just means that when we throw it onto the projectors and all the screens, it'll translate the same and it won't format all of your slides differently or anything like that. So Trevor won't get squished and everyone will read that slides save lives. So we need to export all these. So I'm just going to hit Command A. And we're going to export these to images. In here, JPEG high quality is great. I wouldn't do anything else. So we can just select all and then save where you will know it'll go. I'm going to select my desktop and we'll leave it named my favorite presentation. Now I can quit Keynote. I see I have ProPresenter open and here's my favorite presentation. But before I can drag and drop that in here, I do need to create a presentation in here. So my favorite slides. Okay, now I can go back over to Finder and I can just drag and drop these few in here. This shouldn't pop up. It's only because I already have made this video and then I messed up. So I'm just gonna do right over. Apply all. There it is. Okay. I did want to talk about another kind of presentation here. So let's say you're having worship or something where you actually need to make your own slides. That's a little bit different how we set things up. So this is going to be, let's do Amazing Grace. So there, it's not, we don't have a library where this stuff just exists. We do have in Dropbox on both of our slides computers, you can go to ProPresenter, Worship Slides, and see if we have Amazing Grace. Some of these are out of date, which is unfortunate, but this one's not. So in some circumstances, all this will be done for you. Look at that. It's beautiful. But other times, let's say this is not, we don't want My Chains Are Gone. We want some other version. So let's go to the internet. Oops. Amazing Grace lyrics. Now I can just look this up. And we'll just do verse 1 to keep it simple. Copy that. Now I can come back into ProPresenter, edit this slide, and paste. So it's going to paste all tiny like that. But if you right click here, themes, there should be a whole bunch of different themes that you can start from. So here's worship slides. Let's just see what happens there. Beautiful. Generally, we go for a 2-line approach. So I'm able to just quickly move that over, hitting Option Return. And there you go. If you need to create another slide, that's how you create a blank slide. And then I can throw this one up top to throw a background on it so that it's not the camera showing. And that's that. We can also duplicate if you need to let's say you want to type it in instead of copying and pasting. So, oops. Oh boy, I before E except after C. I before E. I did it. Spelling. I would never suggest doing it this way because it's just more prone to spelling errors. So, but that is how you do that. Cool. All right, one last type of ProPresenter presentation that I feel like we should go over quick is just sermon slides. So let's do a new presentation. My favorite sermon. So typically how we do this is this first one will have some sort of sermon series. I mean, usually we're the ones making this stuff, but let's say we all die and it's up to you to make all the slides. So we just finished up pit stops. We can just drag this over here and drop it. And then we need to change the media action behavior to foreground. That's just putting the black in the back and our graphic up front. So there's that. Now let's say we got somebody preaching. Let's see if I can actually find somebody's sermon. Typically I get, oh, here's Gavin. Typically this is what our sermon notes email looks like. Lots of pictures in this one. I probably won't be showing you how to do that, but I will show you how to do scripture and then sermon points, excuse me. So let's start with scripture. First of all, I'd always suggest just copying and pasting into here. So let's create a new slide, and in here I'm going to do scripture slides because I have that template made already. I'm going to edit this slide in here. I'm going to paste my information. I'm going to select all, go to themes over here on the right side. Scripture slides, I got to do it again because ProPresenter is fun like that. So there's that basic look. This is typically more of a look we'd use at Midtown for scripture reading because it's way up high. So we can fix a couple things. First of all, one of the things we always do is we throw the reference separate and off to the right and italicize. Let's also take this text and throw it in the middle because that makes more sense. So there's a typical scripture slide. Let's make a sermon point. So I'm just going to select all that and delete. Here's the sermon point. So copy that, bring it over, paste, select all. See if I have some sermon points. I do. So, I mean, if you're okay with this, that's okay. There's a couple things I would do just because it's large and in charge. So I'm going to select all of this, bring it down to about 100. That feels better already. And then I saw in here that this be assured thing keeps repeating, and then you can see that he even bolded a couple things as it builds. So I'm gonna copy that. But what I'm gonna do instead is I'm going to unbold this to make this part of it stick out a little bit more. And then even more so, we can change the color. City light orange. Great. And that's a sermon point.